In this intriguing video, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of Zipporah and uncovering what they don't tell you about Zipporah, Moses' wife. Join us as we explore the lesser-known aspects of her life, her pivotal role in biblical history, and the remarkable journey she embarked upon alongside one of the most iconic figures in religious history, Moses. We'll delve into the historical context and her significance in the Exodus narrative, and even shed light on some lesser-known facts about her. Don't miss out on this captivating exploration of a remarkable woman who played a crucial part in the biblical story. Discover the untold aspects of Zipporah's life in this enlightening video. Have you ever wondered about the unsung heroes of the Bible? Those shadowed by the towering figures that dominate the spotlight? Well, today, we're going to explore a story full of secrets and excitement. It's about a woman who's been kept in the shadows for a long time. You see, when we think of the Exodus, our minds often race to the heroic feats of Moses parting the Red Sea and leading the Israelites to freedom. But what about Zipporah, his wife? She's like a mysterious character in the background. People hardly ever talk about her, but her role in this amazing story is really interesting. Who really is Zipporah, and why don't we talk about her the way we do with Moses? Meet Zipporah, a fascinating woman from the pages of history. She was no ordinary woman. She was the wife of the legendary Moses and the daughter of Jethro, a prominent priest and prince from Midian. You see, Zipporah's story is not just about her role as a wife and mother, it's about her incredible journey and the impact she had on the world. Her name, Zipporah, means bird. It's like a pretty bird that brings purity, just like how she made her father's home clean of idols. Imagine it as if she used a bird's gentle touch to clean a place that wasn't pure. But there's more to her. She wasn't only known for her actions, people also thought she was beautiful, like a stunning bird in flight. Now here's the interesting part. Despite her significant contributions, she has often been overlooked in history. Her story remains in the shadows, waiting to be discovered and celebrated. So, what is it about her that makes her worthy of admiration in history? Once upon a time, when Moses was running away from Egypt, he ended up in a place called Midian. He had to leave Egypt because the Pharaoh sought to punish him for the murder of an Egyptian. Now Moses was tired and looking for a safe place, and he came to a distant well. But things changed when some noisy shepherds came and scared away Zipporah and her 6 sisters who wanted to get water from the same well. Moses, being a kind person, couldn't just watch. He bravely helped the women and gave water to their animals. This brave action got the attention of Jethro, who was Zipporah's father and an important priest in Midian. He was thankful for what Moses did and invited him to stay. Moses, feeling comforted by this new place, agreed to stay. As time passed, Moses and Zipporah got closer and they fell in love. Their love story, not well known, led to the birth of 2 sons, Gershom and Eleazar. This love story might not be famous, but it played an important part in Moses' epic journey. How did Zipporah save her husband? Moses got a divine message from the heavens, telling him he was going to be the one to save the Israelite people. Moses, with his wife and children, chose to leave their comfortable life in Midian and travel to Egypt. Egypt was where the Israelites were suffering under slavery. It was a dangerous trip, and guess who fearlessly tagged along? Zipporah, Moses' wife. Yes, she took that leap of faith, leaving behind the comfort of their home to stand by her husband on this risky mission. Zipporah's decision to go with Moses to Egypt shows how much she loved him. It also shows she was really brave and believed strongly. She knew it was dangerous, with a tough and dangerous enemy, but she put her safety aside for Moses and the Israelites. Zipporah didn't rush this choice. She thought about the good and bad things before deciding. She knew God wanted Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, which was a very important mission for their people. She also knew Moses would need her help and support during the tough journey. Going to Egypt was hard for Zipporah. The desert was really harsh, and they had to watch out for bandits and wild animals. Plus, she had her 2 young sons, Gershom and Eleazar, with her, which made things even harder. Water was also really valuable in the dry desert, so they had to be careful not to drink dirty water that could make them sick. Then, something significant happened during their journey. God sent an angel to take Moses' life because Moses hadn't circumcised his son. Circumcision was an important promise between God and the Israelites. Moses likely hadn't circumcised Gershom because Zipporah was from Midian, and they were not accustomed to that practice. He didn't want to hurt Zipporah or his son. But when the angel threatened Moses, Zipporah knew she had to do it quickly to save her husband. What Zipporah did to circumcise Gershom and save Moses was amazing. Even though it was really tough and painful, she didn't wait. She was ready to do anything just to save her husband, even if it meant her son had to go through pain. The Bible talks about this event. At a resting place on the way, the Lord met Moses and wanted to hurt him. Then Zipporah took a sharp rock and cut her son's skin and touched Moses' feet with it. She said, "Now you are like a bridegroom to me." So God stopped being angry. Exodus 4:24-26. Zipporah knew that circumcising Gershom was the only way to save Moses. In the tough desert conditions, this was a brave and quick decision. She acted swiftly, despite the difficulty of the situation. Her determination and quick thinking ultimately saved her husband's life. The angel of death was appeased by her obedience, sparing Moses and affirming her role as a heroic wife who risked it all to protect her husband. Why did she stay behind? As Moses got closer to Egypt, he met his older brother, Aaron. Eventually, Zipporah, along with their 2 sons, Gershom and Eleazar, had to go on the long journey back to her father's home in Midian. It must have been a painful separation, and she wouldn't see her husband again for more than a year. They would only reunite after the incredible events of the Exodus, when the sea miraculously parted and the 10 Commandments were given to Moses on 2 tablets of stone at the Mount of Sinai. Think about the strong emotions, longing, and difficulties this family faced during this time of being apart. It's a part of the story that often doesn't get told, but it's a touching chapter in the tale of Moses and his family. How did everything end? Miriam and Aaron find themselves in a conversation about Moses and his marriage to Zipporah. But here's the twist. They weren't actually discussing Zipporah herself. They may have been worried because Moses had married someone outside of Israel. In any event, God punished them for speaking against Moses. Moses was different from other prophets. He needed to be ready to talk to God at any moment. This meant he couldn't have a regular family life, unlike others who may have been married and had regular family lifestyles. This is where Zipporah's amazing story comes in. She made a big sacrifice for the greater good. While others had a family life, her husband Moses had to always be in touch with God. He likely didn't have time to focus on much else, other than serving God. But Zipporah's kindness, courage, and willingness to make this sacrifice made it possible for the Israelites to have Moses as their leader and teacher. So, in the end, it's a story about love, loyalty, and the choices that shape the destiny of an outstanding leader. Moses was an incredibly important figure in history. He achieved amazing things through leading the children of Israel out of slavery in Egypt, receiving the 10 Commandments from God, and becoming a foundation to Judaism. His impact on our world is immeasurable. But there's someone else in this story who doesn't get enough credit: his wife, Zipporah. She played a crucial role in his journey, even though she's not as well known. Moses was a visionary leader, but Zipporah was the steadfast support that helped make this possible. Without her, his path might have taken a different turn. She was the anchor that held him steady, the one who helped him achieve his true purpose. So, When we look back at history, let's not forget about Zipporah. She was an amazing woman who showed love and strength. Their story, with all its twists and turns, reminds us that even the most famous heroes have people who support them along the way.